Hello everyone, I'm Mohit and currently I'm studying addiction and mental health workers at Pierce College. Today I want to talk about something that affects millions of people worldwide, and that is HIV stigma. Despite all the advances we have made in treating and preventing HIV, stigma is one of the biggest challenges people face. So, why does this stigma still exist and how can we get rid of it? Let's dig into it because if we don't talk about it, the problem just keeps getting bigger. HIV stigma goes way back to when the virus was became known in the 1980s. People were scared because no one really knew much about it. Unfortunately, this fear turned into misconceptions like the idea that only certain groups like gay men or people who use drugs could get HIV. These harmful stereotypes spreads quickly. And even though we have came a long way in understanding HIV, those outdated ideas still linger. People living with HIV are often judged unfairly, and that's where stigma really takes hold. But that's a good news here, and that is we can totally change that starting with education. So, how does the stigma spread? Well, one of the biggest culprits is misinformation. A lot of people still don't know the fact about how HIV is transmitted. They believe things like you can get HIV by hugging someone or sharing food. None of them is true. Another thing that keeps stigma alive is fear. Fear is of unknown. When people don't understand something, they tend to judge it. And when that happens, folks living with HIV feel shame, which makes them less likely to get tested or treated because they don't want to face judgment. But here's the thing, fear only has power if you let it. The more we talk about HIV openly, the less room there is for fear. So, how do we end HIV stigma? It starts with education. The more we understand how HIV works and how it's actually transmitted, the less fear there is. Schools, workplace, and communities should have programs that teach the fact like, no, you can't get HIV from casual contacts. And yes, people living with the HIV can live long, healthy lives if they are on treatment. Another big way to fight stigma is by having real conversations. When we talk openly about HIV, we start breaking down those walls of fears and misunderstanding. Sharing personal stories of people living with HIV shows that they are just like anyone else, dealing with challenges and showing strength. And speaking of strength, it's also super important that we promote testing and treatments without making people feel ashamed. And there is also an approach that is also called ART that is also amazing. It can make or help people with HIV live full lives and stop the virus from spreading. But people need to feel safe getting tested and treated without worrying about being judged. So, how do we break this cycle? It's pretty simple. Educate ourselves, start talking, and show compassion. By being open and supportive, we can end the HIV stigma. Let's challenge the stereotypes and support those living with HIV. Together, we can make a world where everyone is treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. At last, I just want to say spread facts, not fears, and HIV stigma. Thanks.